Conflict damages the very fabric of every society. It damages the physical structure, social institutions, the environment and the normal pace of life in an affected society. Indian-administered Kashmir, which shares borders with India, Pakistan, Afghanistan and China, has been no exception, and the ongoing low-intensity conflict has had its toll on Kashmiri population. Kashmir has been at the heart of conflict between India and Pakistan since the birth of both nations in 1947. India and Pakistan both claim Kashmir in its entirety and have fought 2 of their 3 wars since independence over the region. The impact on the physical and mental health and socio-economic functioning of region's 13 million people is alarming.
Social dislocation went to the extent that people's psychological health also came under tremendous pressure. A lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of mental disorder related cases. Their number increased.
Damage by this low-intensity conflict is seen on every aspect of Kashmiri people's lives. The turmoil of the past 20 years has ruined the earlier developments and has held back all the new ones. Buildings, homes, institutions, communication systems all have suffered a major setback due to the severe damage. Almost everybody has been affected by the turmoil of the past 20 years. Kashmiri people are frequently confronted with physical and psychological mistreatment, torture, detention, threats, killings and disappearances were common. Exposure to violence, poverty, poor education, social execution, gender disadvantage is some of the obvious consequences of the long-lasting conflict.
This state is lacking behind is because the pace of development got ruptured, got disrupted in view of the fact that a conflict developed here, which was already there in political form, but it took a violent form. You automatically get into a situation where education suffers, where infrastructure suffers, where governance becomes in a way casualty.
The sector most affected is the education, as the situation during the past years has not been suitable for children to go to school and continue their education. Frequent gun battles, grenade blasts, crackdowns and shutdowns have weakened the motivation for education in many students and barred some from sending their children to school. The presence of a massive number of armed forces has created a frightening atmosphere for Kashmiri people.
The immediate impact was the close down of the educational system, the breaks, long breaks due to curfews and hartals, which started from schools and ended up in the university.
I have been witnessing conflict since I was 9 years old. So I think that from that age up to this, I have never seen a day of peace. My studies were affected.
Children have not also been immune, as they have been confined to the 4 walls of their houses, not being able to experience real childhood. The past years have been the major reason for sports not to have flourished in Kashmir.
I think Kashmiris are being discriminated on each and every basis. No doubt we have improved, conditions have improved, but still I think Kashmir needs, and the leaders of the Kashmir, they need to think exclusively for this.
Due to continuous tense situation in Kashmir, private investors and multinational companies are not willing to invest, resulting in high rate unemployment amongst Kashmiri youth. Even those who move to other parts of India to look for job end up being mistreated and labelled as terrorists. According to government figures, the violence of past 20 years in Kashmir have resulted in 47,000 deaths and have left 200,000 people displaced. But the toll is even greater in terms of psychological damage to the population. In a predominantly Muslim society, suicide rate had always been very low. However, due to traumatic stress disorders, suicides have now become the second common cause of unnatural deaths during the past years.
58% of the adults, male, female, have had some traumatic event. They have experienced it or witnessed it or were confronted with it. So they are helpless. They are in fact horrified. They are not able to operate. So all these confusions, they continue in the mind, and that all contributes to a negative coping mechanism.
He also said substance misuse is an increasing public health concern. A study which compared prevalence of substance misuse pre and post-conflict reveals that the use of substance is ever increasing in the region. Use of alcohol has increased by 30% in the society, where alcohol use was almost non-existent. Use of opium has increased 7-fold in the last 20 years. Some people attribute their drug use to the prevailing trauma and turmoil. Misuse of non-prescriptive drugs is very common. Benzodiazepines, codeine and opiate-based preparations are freely available in the unregulated markets. The past few years has seen drastic decrease in the events of violence, and as New Delhi has also shown some positive attitude in resolving Kashmir issue, this has resulted in some improvement in the situation. However, experts believe that more can be done in this direction. The effect of turmoil in Kashmir is visible by the rate of its development. Experts say there's a need to look into human perspective of the conflict rather than political aims of India and Pakistan. Shahana Bhatt, Press TV, Indian administered Kashmir.